At this point, I've played equal games thereabouts between Mordekaiser top and Mordekaiser jungle, and I have to say I like him better as a jungler than I do as a top laner. The higher you get into Diamond and Master Elo, you'll realize that people just know how to invalidate Mord's early game and snowball that into just never getting stat checked and never letting him have his power fantasy of just being a walking juggernaut that takes lives. Jungle, this can still sort of happen because people start to invade around like mid Emerald and they start getting good at it around mid Diamond. But there are ways around this, and I'm not going to be going too in depth in, every single Mordekaiser jungle matchup, but I can help you out by getting you started on what you should be doing, what your mindset should be, what your build should be, and just all that stuff. So let's get into it real quick. Your runes. This is going to come as a shock, but the new Deathfire Touch I would certainly recommend as the keystone for Jungle Mord, especially. And that's mostly because the three sub runes you get, Nimbus Cloak, Transcendence, Water Walking, especially, they really help out a lot more than Triumph, a lot more than what's the other one? The Legend tree. And Last Stand is pretty good. Last Stand is a lot of damage. People don't really understand how much damage. But Deathfire Touch, I've had games already where this is doing like 4,000 damage. Uh, and the thing about Conqueror, right? Like if you poke someone with the Q, your reward is that you get more adaptive force. And like if you just poke them with the Q, that adaptive force doesn't do anything. It doesn't apply to the Q you just hit them with because the Q is what stacked it. If you hit them with Deathfire Touch Q, you've done like 30 bonus damage just by hitting a Q. You've burned them. And you can snowball that into just more ramping damage. It also helps like when you're in the middle of four people, you're burning them all, and then you just ult out. So this has a lot of damage potential, and if you're going the Omnivamp build I'm going to recommend later, uh, you're going to get the healing that you would have missed from Conqueror. So like if your opposition to this is, oh, well, Conqueror makes me tankier because it heals me for like 500 damage a game if I'm fighting a lot. It's like, yeah, Deathfire Touch with 4,000 burn, and I'm building like 30 Omnivamp every game. That's probably going to heal more even with a 33% reduction. But anyway, yeah, Deathfire Touch is a solid keystone. The sub runes and the sorcery tree are better for jungle. They make you more mobile. They help you clear faster. And the resolve tree secondary, these two especially are nice. Especially revitalize. Like I go revitalize on every single Mord build I've ever done. It's more central than Conqueror ever has been. And I go the ability haste over the first adaptive force slot in the stats tree because uh, just gold wise it's better. And it also helps me get more ults, and ults are very important, and I'll get into that for the mindset part. Anyways, your core items and options, you're going to start Moss Stomper, the green one, mostly because having a shield on Mordekaiser's biggest weakness is that he gets poked out, and having that little shield is nice. You can kind of edge yourself forward into the enemy team, and if they poke you too much without your team understanding, oh, I have to set this guy up, I have to hit a hooks for him to go in. It's like he's not going to ult the front line, he's not going to ult the tank, he wants to go ult the backline Draven who's sitting behind Xerath and a fucking Leona or something. So once your team finally goes in, you can, stop recharging your shield in the jungle and actually just full send it. Also, you can proc shield bash off that shield, which is a nice little boost. Anyways, then I go straight into Gunblade, which is probably my favorite Mord item in top and jungle to start with. People underestimate how much 15% Omnivamp really is. It lets you tank objectives with no fear at all of like, oh, well, what if the enemy jungle catches me lacking at 70% health? It's like, no, you're going to be full health the whole time. You are never going to have like a harsh clear once you have this item. The slow and the bonus burst that its active gives you is really nice for winning 1v1s, which is something you should be very concerned about. Like, if you're not winning 1v1s as Mordekaiser, you need to keep farming. If you are not able to secure a victory on a single person in ult with Gunblade, just consider playing a different champion because that is the one thing that you were supposed to do. That is the thing you were bringing to the table. You are not a gank spammer. You are not, you know, gonna roll in like Nunu, jump in like Zac, and just be a team fight anchor. You are going to kill people. That is your job. So Gluttonous Greaves, another new item. I would definitely recommend this. I would not take it all the time. I literally had a game today where their team comp was something like Tryndamere, Kindred, it was an AD mid, I forget who, and then Draven Senna bot lane. So it's like obviously I'm gonna go tabbies into that. And if the reverse was true, they all had like tenacity resistant crowd control. I would definitely go Merc Treads. But as a general rule, I would just go this because it's more Omnivamp. Omnivamp is very good on Mord. People don't know this, but the area of effect thing for Mordekaiser, if Mordekaiser hits a single isolated Q, it counts as single target damage, and it applies full Omnivamp. So if you're doing that in ult with all the stat boosts you stole, that's a lot of healing, like especially with this build. Also, another thing about Gunblade, I'll just mention this because it came to mind. Your Q double dips from AD and AP, and this item gives you nothing but AD and AP. You are doing so much ridiculous damage with your Q, which now has 15% Omnivamp, that it's just ridiculous. Anyway, second item, Dusk and Dawn. This is pretty non-negotiable. I wouldn't really, sometimes I'd go Riftmaker, but Dusk and Dawn is just like a very good item on Mord, and now that it has a heal on top of it, at the cost of some stats and a recent change, I would consider it like almost all the time. And these other 8, I would consider options. So, Visage, just a good item. Resisting magic damage and, buffing your shield, buffing your Omnivamp. This does give a small multiplier to your Omnivamp, so that is pretty nice. Oblivion Orb, obvious. Like, most of these are just for when you need it, except for, like, maybe Riftmaker, because Riftmaker is just another good item to just throw in there. Like, Randuin's that they have crit. Medjai's, you can get a Dark Seal early if you're playing jungle and you know you're gonna get fed. Like they have a team comp that doesn't really stop you, and you're going to rack up kills on it. So I would get a Dark Seal and slot that in early if you think that. But yeah, that's just basically the build. Okay, so your mentality, you have to be greedy. You have to be the most self-centered individual that you could possibly be if you want to make this character work for you. You have to mute all, and let me really emphasize that. Don't wait until somebody says something or until you get in game. Mute them from champ select immediately. If you have like something to post or something to say it and then mute them all. You can talk yourself. You could bark orders all you want, but you should never be listening to their pings. You should never be listening to them. I don't like to be listening to other people's pings regardless. Like, I should have, if I'm a good jungler, a good idea of what's going on the map, and I should be tracking this myself. I shouldn't have to, listen to somebody just constantly because, they want to let me know something that I can see with my own 2 eyes. So, your win con is to get huge at any means by any means necessary. Knowing a good clear path. Usually I do the chickens path straight up into blue side, and then I recall double camp at Krugs and red, and then I clear upwards again. And usually that just leads me into having enough gold to buy a strong component or a strong first buy for Dragon. And I should have a tome on the first part of that back as well, but that's not really important. I could also get a Dark Seal there if I know that I'm going to get fed, but I'm not looking to gank at all because look at my champion and tell me. I'm going to ask you, what gank opportunities do you think this champion has? Literally, they pushed under the tower. They pushed up so far, and they are so bronze that they don't have a ward. It's like that is your gank condition early game. Like, you don't have your ult, you're not gonna be a very effective gank tool. When you have your ult, you can be the most proactive, the most tempo setting jungler in the game. You can just start objectives, and if they try and contest you, you can just say, "Hey, 1v1 me." And that's the entire point of Mordekaiser. You get fed, and they have to contest you. Now, if they build a lot of tank into you and they try to survive your ult and your team doesn't show up, then you're screwed. And then you wish you would have just played a gank spamming jungler. But you have to be focused with yourself. If your top lane goes 0-8, it's like, oh no, I probably could have helped you against that Darius when he was just like 1-0, but now he's fed enough to actually just turn me into Swiss cheese without trying. So I have to avoid this lane for even longer. So it's like it's kind of a paradox that laners don't understand. The more you feed them, the less I'm inclined to come to your lane and help you out because I need to get strong enough to kill your enemy laner, and you keep making them stronger. So it's kind of a catch-22 where your laner is just going to intentionally get more mad and int you harder because you're not compromising your own win con as a jungler and killing yourself to show solidarity with their plight against Darius. It's like it's such a ridiculous thing. So get as much gold and XP as you can. Stat check 1v5. Uh, Try to ult anyone who does a lot of damage and hope your team kind of coagulates on top of you. Like never expect your team to actually do the right thing. That's like a very good path to start being frustrated and lose this game more. But if you're fed enough, they will listen to you. They will just show up. So the first dragon and grubs, I guess I'll mention that. They're negotiable. Every other one isn't. You should be forcing your will over the map as much as you can once you have ult. If somebody wants to do like a level 4 dragon, let them do it. Just go farm, see if you can steal some of their camps, see if you can get a gank off top lane. And once your ult is up, then you can start terrorizing people. Like you are, especially with a gunblade build, like you do so much damage early game. You can invade, ult somebody, and if they have no way out, then you just kill them, take their camps, and set them so far behind. And your laners will be very thankful for that too. Like they're going to hate you for every other time in this game that you're not spamming 50 quintillion ganks in their lane, but otherwise, if you're being a nuisance to their jungler because you have your ult up and you have the ability to, they'll like you a lot more. But if they end their own lanes before you even have a chance to do that, then you're just in loser's queue. Sorry, man. All right, next up, have a pocket pick. Mine is Volibear. Volibear is like a more early gank centric version of Mordekaiser, except maybe he doesn't have as much objective control. Yeah, I think that's fair. He just doesn't have the ability to walk up to an objective solo and bait their entire team into a fight that he wins. Like he just gets bursted down. He doesn't have the Death Realm ult, and I find that his ult is like his least useful ability. But yeah, have a pocket pick in case Mord gets banned, or you have the experience to know like, oh, they have a team comp that has a bunch of very oppressive poke, and they don't even have to walk into me. They can just kill me from a distance. That sort of comp absolutely makes Mord worthless. Like unless you have a team that can get you into fights, which again I don't like relying on the team no matter what. It's a team game, but at the end of the day, it's you that does the carrying. So yeah, have a pocket pick, be confident in it, and you know never compromise. Never let anyone else tell you how to play. Mute your team and play for you. Maximize your clear path. Know what objectives you can take, know what fights you can win, and then win them. That's how you play Mordekaiser.